Many of you might remember George Foreman from his youth, spent in the ring as one of America's most famous boxers. But I remember him the most from his now iconic infomercials from the 90s and the 2000s. In those commercials, he sold us the George Foreman Grill, a small and portable grill that helped us grill in a healthier way. And those commercials are beloved by people who grew up in the 90s and the 2000s, and by anyone and everyone who loves classic commercials from those times. So travel back in time with me to explore those iconic ads and what made them so special, and what made George Foreman so iconic and likable. Let's get into it. As I said earlier, George Foreman was not just a pitchman and a businessman. He was a boxer. A two-time heavyweight champion, by the way. But I'm not an expert on sports, and when it comes to boxing, the only thing that I'm well versed on is the Rocky and Creed movies. I am, however, quite the advertising aficionado, to the point that I've spent countless hours over the years watching old commercials on YouTube over and over again and seeing some for the first time, just like getting to know commercials from before my time. After his days in the ring, he started doing a lot of on-camera work, like being a sports commentator on HBO, and he also got into religion, and that took up a lot of his time post-boxing. But then in 1994, after his final retirement from boxing, he was approached by a company called Salton Inc., and they wanted to use his name and his persona and his face to sell their newest product, a fat-reducing mini grill. It was created by a man named Michael Bowen, who had already done several other cooking devices for other companies. And when Bowen and Salton Inc. approached George Foreman, he agreed to it, thanks to his wife, who liked the prototype that they were giving, and the grill became the George Foreman Grill. He had already made plenty of commercials for other companies and other types of products before the grill, most notably for the car repair company Meineke, and the grill was a huge hit. By 2009, it had sold over 100 million units. He was making millions of dollars every year off of the sale of the grill. And in 1999, he completely sold off the rights to his name in perpetuity to Salton Inc. in regard to advertising the grill. It is said that by 2011, he had made over $200 million from advertising the grill. Supposedly, that's more money than what he made as a boxer. Here's a little fun fact. Hulk Hogan almost became the face of the grill for Salton Inc. But he didn't take the offer, or he lost out on the deal, and it went to George Foreman. Maybe out there in the multiverse, there's a universe where we got the Hulk Hogan fat-reducing grill instead of the George Foreman one. I'm sure the characters from Sliders must have traveled to that world at some point during their multiverse-hopping adventures. At first, they were calling the grill the Lean, Mean, Fat-Reducing Grilling Machine, but that name is very long, and it has since been shortened to just the George Foreman Grill. But that original long name eventually became a slogan of sorts, because it sends a clear message, and the message is that this grill reduces fat and that is a healthier way to grill your food. And the vibe of all the advertisements and George Foreman's charming personality made the campaign a huge hit. And the device itself evolved over the years and became more complex with changeable grilling plates, more colors and different designs, and there were bigger versions that were like barbecue-like in design, and all of that together contributed to winning more and more people as the years went on. A ton of ads were made over the years. For TV, for radio, and print media, of course, like ads on magazines and newspapers. It's hard to remember all of them because there were so many. But for the most part, they were very simple ads. There was no flashiness, no stunts, no gimmicks. It was just a salesman on camera pitching his product to you. He wasn't shooting a cannon at things, he wasn't sawing boats in half and then taping them up like Phil Swift does. The wackiest one I remember is the one where he's like cloned, you see a bunch of different George Foremans on screen at the same time. But for the most part, they weren't gimmicky. They were just simple videos. It was just a man selling you a grill. And he wasn't as commanding or intense or talked as fast as other pitchmen, like the late great Billy Mays. He was calm but very direct and very precise. And he always talked in a way that felt genuine and sincere and always likable and charming. His commercials felt like if you had a friendly neighbor who came over to your house and just started talking to you about his new grill. So it's no wonder that the ads worked and thousands of people bought them. My family included. We had one in the early 2000s. I believe I have footage of when my brother gave it to my mother on Christmas morning. That was the Christmas I got the GameCube as my main gift, or the one that I got my first computer. It was one or the other. We didn't use it much, and sadly we don't have it anymore. I wish we did, because it's a piece of pop culture history, but it's nice to know that we had it at one point. George Foreman took advantage of every opportunity he had to promote the device. He appeared on daytime shows, late night shows, and all sorts of interviews. And the grill has become a staple in pop culture. The Office had a memorable episode where Michael Scott burns his foot on a George Foreman grill, and by the end of the episode he cooks for his staff using the same grill that he burned his foot with. I also remember very fondly when Nickelodeon's Drake and Josh parodied the George Foreman Grill, but they made it the Gary Coleman Grill. You heard me right, Gary Coleman from Different Strokes. And that was a show that I watched a lot on Nick at Night as a kid, and Drake and Josh was a show that I watched a lot as a teen on regular Nickelodeon. And the story had the two brothers selling stolen grills at their school, and eventually that invokes the wrath of Gary Coleman himself. And many other shows parodied and made reference to the grill, and that includes shows like NBC's Dirty Rock and Mike Judge's King of the Hill, among many others. George Foreman sadly passed away earlier this year, late March of 2025. He left behind his wife, Mary Joanne, 11 kids, and millions of fans who grew up watching him on TV. Some were fans of his sports era, some are fans of his advertising era, many are fans of both things. Either way, he was loved by many people, is still loved by many people. He was and still is a sports icon, an advertising icon, and he will be remembered for many years to come. Thank you for watching, it means a lot, it always does, and this video is a promise that I made and I kept it. Let me explain. During my recent review of the Tony the Tiger action figure, I said at the end of that video that I would continue to make videos related to advertising icons, and one of the people who showed up on screen while I was saying that was George Foreman. So here I am with my George Foreman video. And there are many more videos related to commercials and ads coming soon, because it's a topic that I'm very passionate about. I love ads from the 2000s, the 90s, even the 80s and older than that, because I love the ads that I grew up watching, and I also love ads from before my time, thanks to YouTube. So I'll continue to make videos like this one, and like the Tony the Tiger review, so feel free to subscribe so you don't miss out on the fun. And once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.